Did I get hosed on eBay? I don't know. There's just something about this box. There's something about the screws that are on this cart that just make me question whether this is a real NES cart. Either way, today we're going to break this open, compare it to some of these other ones, and see whether I got a reproduction instead of an actual NES cart.
You dumb mother...
Hi guys, welcome back to another episode of We Get Technical. And before we get into the topic of today, I'd like to say don't forget to let me spend my money so you don't waste yours by hitting that subscribe button. And if you're interested in keeping informed of new videos such as this, don't forget to click that bell. Anyway, the topic of today, I just recently picked up this Break Thru. Well, probably about a week or two ago. And there's just some things that you might have seen in my other video that make me question whether this is an official cart or not. I pick up a lot of my complete NES games off of eBay, and there are some times where I question it, but of course I wait way too long before I actually find out that they're either fake or reproduction or real, and then the 30 days go out and I can't claim it by eBay. I bought this one that I think for some reason I thought didn't work because it had some of the pins which I thought were missing, but it comes to find out that some of the NES games do have the pins in the middle missing, and that does not make it a reproduction or a fake. But I want to take a look at some of these. We got Blaster Masters, we got Ghosts and Goblins that I picked up a long time ago, and we have a Micro Mages, which is not obviously an original NES game. This game was made by Morphcat Studios. It is a newer NES game, and we're just throwing it up here just to take a look at what the board looks like inside of here. So I will be taking this apart. I'm going to try to be careful because I don't want to mess it up. And I'm going to go through this one because I want to show you some of the things that I think raises some flags for me. Let's get these out the box. Let's take a look at them. First, we're going to look at Break Thru, and I'm going to go through some of the things that make me a little worried that this is a reproduction. Now, I'm no expert in the matter, but I did take a look at Metal Jesus Rocks and Kelsey's video, which a link will be in the description and a card at the top of the screen. You guys can take a look at that video. She does own a video game store, so she's going to be a little more knowledge in spotting fakes than I would be. At first glance, the box looks like it's in really good condition. It does look like it's got some age to it. Something that does raise a little suspicion for me. I mean, I guess this box does look like it's of high quality. You got the seal right here, but if you do check out Kelsey and Metal Jesus Rock video, she stated something about Nintendo of America having these oval shaped seals of approval, and on this the official seal is round, and that doesn't necessarily make it fake, but she said that that would be a European edition. So I don't know if this game is a real European edition. Maybe that's not true. Maybe they use two different seals. Looking at the box, let's compare it to this. And as you can see on this one, this right here, this barcode looks way different than these two. This one looks a little more washed out and old. These ones look a little more clear. So I don't know, maybe it's just the way they printed the barcode. That might not state or prove that any of these are fake or real. Let's go ahead and get the card out because that's what I really want to look at. But another thing that I've seen over the time of collecting, most of the original NES boxes, if not all of them, had this type of box. Hopefully you can see that in here. And some of the reproductions will have a white inside here. It's not, doesn't look like a real box. Let's get this out here. We're gonna get some of these out as well because I want to compare them. And this is Micro Mages. This is a newer game, which as you can see, they went with the original box. I have seen other boxes that I have bought or came across in the past that were white. And here we go. Here are the 4 carts. I mean, this sticker, they said that most of the time they will be glossy and not faded. I mean, honestly, to tell you the truth, they look real to me. As you can see, this has the oval seal on it, and these two right here they have the rounded seal, which she said would have been a European, but it's stating it's USA on here. That states USA. Now the fonts are different, they're not the same. I don't know, the Nintendo logos look pretty legit on each of them. And I'm going to show you why I was a little concerned about some of these, but now I'm seeing the same type of screw on here. Alright, this is the Morph Cat one, which I assumed wasn't going to have the original screws. As you can see, these are your Phillip head screws on here. They don't have what I believe is called the 3.8 millimeter torque, I think. I think that's what they're called. And there's a specific screwdriver to take those apart. We'll get to that in a minute. As you can see on this cart, the cart's made of pretty good sturdy plastic, just like the original, but it doesn't have the Nintendo logo, which is right here, and it says made in Japan. That looks pretty legit. This looks pretty similar to that, and so does this. But these two don't have that 3.8 millimeter torque screw that you're seeing in here, and I might be getting that screw name wrong. They have a different screw on it. Now granted, those screws could have been replaced. I don't know why they would have. I don't know if I can get a close-up view on it. Yeah, you kind of can't see it. You see, those are not the torque screws, or 3.8 millimeter torque screws that you might see on this one. And I'll show you those closer up when I get these carts open. These labels here, though, they look pretty similar, except for this. Like these, you see these two Nintendo logos that are right there are similar, but the one on here is not. Now, I don't know if these carts were all provided by Nintendo, or maybe Data East had different labels than Capcom would have, but that kind of throws me off too. I guess the only real tell is going to be to get these open and look at the boards, but the actual carts, they all look like they're of original Nintendo quality. But then again, the Morph Cat one's not all that bad in quality. They do look different though. These are the original grays. These tones all look similar. It's just those screws that are throwing me off. And then again, this label looks a little too good for me. You'd think after a certain amount of time those labels would have faded a little, but they didn't. The label on this Morph Cat was not done all that great, because that's always been like coming off. Game's great, cart's great, label looks good. The adhesive that Morph Cat Studios used on this is horrible. Alright, I got the screwdrivers. I don't remember which one. I'm assuming the smaller one's the one that's going to get the 3.8 millimeter out. You can get these on eBay for I think like $5 a set. I don't know which one this would be used for. I think Super Nintendo had the same screws, same size. I don't know, maybe this is for N64, I can't remember. Let's get a closer look at these screws that I'm talking about. As you can see, the type of head that they are, and here is the driver that opens them. Now we got to get to finding out how I get these screws out, and I got this driver set here. Hopefully I can find something that'll take them apart. I'm assuming a flathead is going to work. Let me see if I can get, as I said, I used a flathead. I don't know if you can see that, what it looks like. I know, I gotta cut my nails. Here's the board, and honestly that looks pretty legit. These look like copper pins, which is what Nintendo would have used, and it does say NES here. It does not, however, say, nope, I'm wrong, it's right on this side. It says 1987 Nintendo. It looks legit, even though the screws didn't look legit. So maybe those 3.8 millimeters aren't the screws that they used on every single cart, depending on the manufacturer of the game. Let's get Master Blasters apart. This is the game that did not work on that top loader clone. And I thought it was because those pins were missing. But I think that some of these games did have missing pins. I don't know why specifically. Some had the missing pins and some had a full set. If you know, let me know in the comments down below. Also let me know if you know that they did use different screws and why they did. But this board looks like it's seeing some use. A lot of the stuff is fading in here. It does say NES on here. And Nintendo is right down here instead of at the side that the other one was. Now I don't know if somebody replaced the case, replaced the screws because they lost it, or maybe they did use different screws. There's the board for Ghosts and Goblins, and that looks like the same copper pins, and this one actually says 1985 Nintendo up here. So these are obviously official Nintendo boards, just happen to have different screws, and I'm gonna guess maybe somebody at some point went ahead and took these apart and they lost the screws and replace them. I'm hoping I'm getting that in there right. Let's get this MorphCat Studios one open and see what their board looks like. And inside the MorphCat Studios, we have what seems to be Broke Studio Norm. This is obviously a reproduction board that they use to put their game on, and they have different, as you can see, different chips. And I forget what they call these pins, but I don't think that they're copper. Maybe they are. There's a weird stain or fingerprint on this side. But either way, that's what the board looks like in MorphCat Studios one, a QC4. I think I've seen these boards before on someone else. I'm just losing screws. Either way, let's get this back in there. Well, I mean, what have we learned from this? I mean, I was worried. Those are obviously official, or at least look real. And I didn't get hosed. It just seems that maybe at some point, I don't know if manufacturers of the games were using different screws. I would assume that they got their materials from Nintendo. Or someone took this apart, lost the screws, and replaced it with that junk. For the sake of making it look a little more official, I'm probably going to take the screws out of this ice hockey game that I got a while back for the top loader video, and I'm going to replace it in whichever one was missing it, or have the weird screws. If you guys have any questions about anything that was contained in this video, please leave them in the comments down below. If you guys seen something that you noticed that looked a little off, or you have any other suggestions that might help me in the future tell between a fake and a real NES cart, please leave those in the comments down below, not only for me but for the rest of the community. If you liked what was contained in this video, don't forget to hit the thumbs up. If you thought this video was just plain sucky and a waste of time, you could always hit that thumbs down. If you found what was contained in this video to be of some sort of value, please don't forget to share amongst friends and the rest of your social media. And as always, don't forget to let me spend my money so you don't waste yours by hitting that subscribe button. Now I've gone and done it. I don't know which board goes to what game.
You dumb mother...